Mind over matter, here we go. Minds and one. Latent psionic ability of our species are only beginning to manifest in certain individuals. Yes, let's gain access to psionics for our people. We will become psychic otters. That's where we need to start going. Psychic otters.
Is the mind over matter tree always going to be successful? Is it possible to spend a huge percentage of your playthrough studying and only find your species has no psychic tendencies whatsoever? No. Our species is definitely psionic, and the Shroud is real, and we will be contacting it once we learn how. They don't pull that kind of rug pull on you.
The Great Awakening. The eye that pierces all veils is closed. Only with great effort can it be opened, and our true power awakened. All latent psionic species, which includes us, will unlock their full psionic potential. It allows psionic assimilation of other species, unlocking their latent abilities. So we'll unlock that. There we go. All leaders gain the trait Psychic. The Vish Kinah species has experienced what can only be described as a great awakening. For a time now, we have been aware of the great psionic potential inherent in our species, but such powers have only manifested themselves in a small minority, until now. Almost overnight, Vish Kinah everywhere have unlocked their full psionic capability. It's as if some sort of communal pool of Vish Kinah psychic energy finally reached a critical flipping point, collectively awakening the latent latent abilities across our brains. Telepathy has already replaced most verbal communication between Vish Kinah, and this is only one small example of the innumerable changes our society is faced with. We are now tied together in a way few of us could have ever imagined. The veil has been lifted. Alright, let's grab one of our leaders quick, and we'll take a look at what the in-game effect of Psychic is. So, governing ethics attraction, plus 10%, monthly influence, plus 0.5. Honestly, just looking at that, it's a little underwhelming, but I know that there's a lot more subtle bonuses that we're going to be seeing soon. Right, the Shroud. Covenant proposed. The presence welcomes us with genial familiarity. It speaks not so much in words, but in visions, concepts, and ideas. Vayin, anyone? It seeps into the minds of our telepaths so gently and smoothly that one might think it had always been there. A flurry of images flash before them. The presence is known as the Composer of Strands, and it regards our organic forms with curious interest. It shows us a variety of ways in which they can be grown, changed, improved, evolved. If we will only take it into our flesh. Interesting. It waits for our answer patiently, affectionately, like a doting parent waiting on their favorite child. Behind it lies its twin, the animator of clay. It is not interested in our organic minds. It longs to create souls, to meld circuits into spirit. The Composer awaits our reply. We can form a covenant with the Composer of Strands, or we can exit the Shroud. There will be a price to pay. The Composer of Strands modifier adds pop growth speed plus 10%, leader lifespan plus 10 years, organic species trait picks -1. Well, let's find out. It is done. We have formed a covenant with the Composer of Strands. It did not take long for the effect to be felt. A sudden and significant increase in birth rates that is undoubtedly the work of the Composer. However, along with these positive effects, we also experienced a rash of strange new mutations, offspring born with extra limbs and organs, some of which bear no resemblance to any previously catalogued part of their anatomy. Fortunately, the few deaths resulting from them are more than outweighed by the higher birth rates and apparent increase in vitality of our people. We've done the right thing. I like how that's the only answer. It really does simplify matters. We have done the right thing. Alright, Shroud is accessible. We can enter diplomacy with the Shroud, and we will. Must focus. We can reach into the Shroud for 1,000 energy, or we can exit the Shroud, and we are going in there looking. The void shimmers with power. Let us rest a while. Boon, increased lifespan. If successful, the energies of the Shroud will be channeled into a powerful boon that has a positive effect on our entire empire. Low probability of success. That was an easy one. Increased happiness. If successful, the energy of the Shroud will be channeled into a powerful boon that has a positive effect. Okay, so do you want increased happiness, increased lifespan, or exit the Shroud? Honestly, I think I prefer the increased lifespans over the happiness, and this has a high probability of success. Oh shoot. Our powerful psychic backlash has bounced back through our conduit with the Shroud. and into the communal psionic link that shared between all Vish Kinah. For some reason, this has had a detrimental effect on birth rates throughout the Vish Empire. This has even affected members of races without any inherent psionic ability. Sorry, guys. Pop growth speed minus 30% for 5 years. Ouch. Alright. Substances. Composer of Strands, degeneration. The blessings of the Composer of Strands are unpredictable. One of our leaders had an unfortunate experience where their flesh gained a will of its own. In moments, they had degenerated into an unrecognizable writhing mass. Without any hope of reversing the process, we now consider this leader to be effectively dead. They live a simpler life now. Scientist Haganon dies. Someone just went all Akira on us. I gotta say, so far I'm a little bit unimpressed with our Shroud boons. We've had a lot of failures interacting with them. It's almost like we're new at this, and we're not as spiritual as we were hoping we were. Gonna have to say, Vish, a little disappointed in your faith. I find your lack of faith disturbing. Right there. All right, everyone, cross your fingers. I don't think we have a crossed fingers emote. We do have a bunch of new emotes. Feel free to browse through there. Some custom book-themed emotes. You're welcome to test out and use any of them. I won't be offended if you're spamming the chat a little bit. All right, Weshenesh. The vision is hazy and indistinct, but there can be no question. It is Weshenesh, our capital. Ooh, cool. The great cities look different, yet familiar. Even through the obscuring wall of flames and smoke, thousands, no, millions of mutilated bodies litter the streets, all of them Vish Kinah. The stench of decay is unbearable. Your future. Nothing living remains in the ruins. In the sky above, massive orbital installations trailing smoke have begun a slow and inevitable descent towards the planet. We are witnessing one possible future. Are we witnessing one possible future out of many? Not one of many. It shall come to pass. As surely as the sun rises, it is your destiny. The vision ends as quickly as it began, leaving behind a miasma of swirling psionic energy. Nice Mobius there in the chat. All right, so we can channel the energies into an avatar. High probability of success basically gets us a psionic demon as a ship. We can increase our firing rate, or we can decrease our ship up rate. Ship upkeep. Decrease ship upkeep. A lot of P's there. I think just to see something with a high probability of success, let's see if we can get an avatar. None of these are going to help us long term. It's all kind of short term combat stuff, so let's just try that. The summoning failed. Channeling the psionic power required to summon an avatar and bring it into our dimension is simply beyond our current ability. The energies of the Shroud fizzle with an agitation as our attempt fails. So much for our high chance of success. Alright. Our patron, the Composer of Strands, has deposited a fraction of its energy into a fold of the Shroud, ready for the taking. Our close bond will allow us to safely absorb this power. Yeah, safely. They missed the quotes on that. A number of candidates have been selected, but only one of them can be granted the privilege of wielding the power of our patron. We must decide who it shall be. Now, this is where we would have liked to have had Sister Pavel still alive. But we go High Sister Jaslura or Head of Research Monobaki. I think as the new girl on the job, Sister Jaslura, you're going to try to ascend. All right. It is done. As the power was invested in Jaslura, all those around could feel the weight of its psionic presence. It is powerful and commands respect. She will now be the immortal champion of the Composer of Strands. They were destined to be the chosen. All right, what has happened here? Removes all negative traits from Jaslura. Removes the psychic trait from Jaslura. Jaslura gains the chosen of the Composer trait, gaining the following effects. This leader gains lifespan immortal. Empire effects as counselor. Leader lifespan plus 50 years. Experience gain plus 20%. More official commander and scientist capacity, and a little bonus to monthly influence. I'd say that worked out well. Everyone gets to live 50 years longer, and she gets to live all of the years longer. Or at least long enough to see our cities burn and get bombarded and everything fall out of the sky. I'm not sure if that's supposed to be a bonus if you know all that. All right. Let's roll some dice. Let's spend our 1,000 energy and reach into the Shroud. Suddenly, a painful moment of clarity. The nature of our existence is laid bare. A multiverse where thousands of galaxies like our own are locked in an endless cycle of conflict. It begins, it ends, then it begins again, each time with trillions of lives hanging in the balance. So it is, a voice whispers, and so it shall always be. Alright, well, we can increase our shield strength, increased evasion, decreased chip upgrade, or upkeep, or exit the Shroud. Well, at least try to upgrade our shield strength. We're getting some new shields soon. Slowly at first, then faster and faster, our grasp of the Shroud begins to slip. Our telepaths cry out in anguish as they lose their foothold, and we are ejected back into normal space. I do think we got one thing to work from the Shroud, but this is like our 6th or 8th try. We may be psychic otters, but we are not good psychic otters. Like, we're good people, maybe, but we're not good psychics. Alright. A divine sovereign. The immortal entity known as Lura, previously Vish Kinah, but now something far more, has attracted a large and devout following in the Vish Empire. Worshipped by many as a supreme deity, a call has gone out to officially crown the High Sister as the permanent ruler of our great empire, now and into perpetuity. A powerful psychic, but a god? Hardly. Or, may her reign stretch into infinity and beyond. I don't know. I kind of feel like the Vish Kinah Seekers have been looking for the truth of the universe, the ultimate spiritual truths, and I think they have found that in whatever we're calling her, Lura. So I think, okay, effects of this would be all ethics are removed. The Vish Empire shifts its ethics towards spiritualist. We're already fanatic spiritualist, that's fine. We shift towards fanatic authoritarian, and government authority to imperial, add civic divine sovereign. Government is unlocked. I don't know, I kind of think this is like, we've been spreading out, trying all kinds of religions, praying to everything we could find. We found the Shroud, and I think we've gotten our answer. I think Lura here is going to be the conduit to our god, the composer of strands. So, let's look at our unspent civics points. All right, let's go reform our government here. No heir because our ruler is immortal. We are now fanatic authoritarians and still spiritualist. So let's reform the government. We're environmentalist, ascensionist, divine sovereign. And we have one civic point left. Can we unassign these? We can't unassign divine sovereign. So let's see what we want the rest of us to be. 3 picks and 3 points. All right, we could also do dictatorial, but we're just going to stay at imperial. So what are we going to have? A feudal society? Do we revert to feudalism just because we have an emperor? Imperial cult? That one sounds fun. The ruler's home planet has additional priest jobs. Edict funds plus 100. What else we have? Philosopher king. Effective ruler skill plus 5. That one seems really good. It'll be a philosopher queen, obviously, because Lura's a woman. So we'll put that in. Might change our mind, but police state, slaver guilds, no. All this other stuff's grayed out. All right, so we had 2 other picks. I still don't think we want to go slaver. We can be authoritarian without slaves. I don't think we want a police state. Pleasure seekers seem like not quite our vibe. Let's see, feudal society. Does this get us any benefits? Makes us more likely to have people accept subjugation. I guess if we were really going to be that kind of people. Efficient bureaucracy? Maybe. Effects core V system would be to a society that considers it the absolute right of the state to decide where its citizens live and work. Byzantine bureaucracy just sounds fun. I think we're still ascensionists. We're still going to be believing the ultimate goal of this empire is to ascend to ever greater levels of fulfillment. We all want to be like Lura. Eventually, a whole bunch of immortal worshippers of the Shroud. It's act as the noble chateau sultan. I think aristocratic elite sounds fun. Just Lura had her friends, and she's going to kind of drag them along with her. Everyone... The rising tide lifts particular boats. Alright. So welcome to the new Vish Empire, where we are an authoritarian empire ruled by a divine emissary. Crown Prince Jesslor is the new heir to our empire and will take the throne when our current ruler dies. So I guess if something kills her, fair enough. Nice to know that she also had a family before turning into an immortal divine conduit. Alright. Time to be disappointed by the Shroud again. Let's go get Shroudy. Voices of the Fallen. We are looking down upon our galaxy from far above, at a distance of what must be hundreds of thousands of light years. Without warning, the psionic current plunges us down toward the myriad of stars at an incredible speed, into the region of space belonging to one of the fallen empires. Ooh! The Naran Guardians. Stars swish by, then planets, until the vision finally settles on a Nahar city. Incredible spires rise toward the sky, aided by anti-grav technology, generations ahead of our own. The current takes us into such a spire, through wall after wall, until we reach a large meeting room of sorts. It is occupied by two Narians, floating comfortably in zero-gravity chairs while conversing with each other in soft voices. They're oblivious to our presence. We can reach into their minds and search of secrets, medium probability of success, or we can exit the Shroud. And if successful, well, truly, who knows? These guys know. These guys know, and we would like to know too. Woo-hoo-hoo! Hey, I am disappointed in their lack of disappointment. The Narians are clearly dignitaries of some kind, discussing matters of state slowly, surely. The vision encroaches upon them while their alien speech is gradually transformed into words that have meaning to us. Is a disgrace. Imagine if the younger races were even to suspect that we no longer fully understand our own technology. We must... The mind glow of the two Narians is overwhelming. Like a blossoming flower, their minds are open and laid bare. It would be so easy to reach in. Still think that punitive actions are uncalled for. They are young and careless, but so are we once upon a time. There is time for them to... There. The technological secrets plucked from the recesses of their mind as easily as one would copy a file from an unlocked computer. The Narians remain ignorant of the theft that has taken place within their very minds. Exit the Shroud. We will get the technology living metal. Okay.
The spirits have granted
that
us new wisdom.
Is badass. Alright. So, living metal unlocks resource harvesting living metal. Mining and processing the rare living metals is exceedingly difficult, but successful application of the mutable alloys yields incomparable advantages. Among them, I believe, is ships that self-repair. So if a ship survives a battle, it will just slowly T-1000 itself back into its proper shape. Awesome. Best thing I've gotten out of the Shroud in, well, since we turned our leader immortal and got all our leaders to live 50 years longer. All right, Shroud, you've earned a little bit of a reprieve. You're good to us last time around. Let's reach out and touch someone's mind. The Shroud is tempestuous here, as massive currents of raw psionic energy are funneled through. Violent reactions give birth to semi-intelligent apparitions. These confused spirits are often clash with one another, unleashing phenomenal amounts of psychic power in battles that can last millennia. Okay, we've seen this one before, and we can get a psionic avatar. I think just having that around might give us enough power to go poke at space whales. The powerful energies of the Shroud have been successfully channeled into a psionic avatar under our control. After translating into our dimension, the newborn avatar has coalesced into a colossal warrior on the surface of Weshanesh. On the surface? On the surface. Hold up. You're not a space avatar? We have an army? We have an army. This was not what I was expecting. What do we have here? Avatar. So it is about 5 times as powerful as one of our army units. That is not what I was hoping would happen with that. That is why that is a high probability of success. I guess if we were to actually land on a planet with it, it would like kind of Dr. Manhattan it around a little bit. But this is not a tanky space whale killer, nor is it a pirate killer. We actually have to like surround a planet and send drop ships down to deal with that. All right, we're saying ships need to come home. Actually, can we? Where is Weshanash? Back out here. Can we go back in orbit? Yes. All right. Well, I'd forgotten that that was not a floating death machine. It was nice we got it to work, and it's good to remind ourselves that it is not worth getting. And now we don't have to pick that option anymore. Oh, what do we do? Oh, the Shroud again. Let's pause here, and then we will contact the Shroud. We didn't have great luck last time, but we had some luck. And we're going to reach into the Shroud and find out if we get more. A shard of perfect crystal floats here, rotating slowly around its axis. As we approach, it shatters into 1,000 pieces. Well, we can increase evasion or decrease ship upgrade. Let's increase evasion, that's more likely to work. The conduit that our telepaths are using to connect to the Shroud collapsed on itself as several energy layers of the psychic realm, blah, 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 blah. We fucked up. We got ourselves an immortal leader and 50-year lifespan increase to all our guys. I'm willing to ride on that for a little while, but the Shroud's going to have to show us something here again soon. And we're going to deal with the Shroud because we don't want to miss any Shroud opportunities. So much power. We reach into the Shroud. For a fleeting moment, we are lost. A sense of utter panic washes over us as we contemplate an eternity spent within the Shroud. Then we regain our footing, and the terror recedes. Shield strength, ship speed. Ethics attraction we're not even considering. We're doing ship stuff, let's get some ship bonuses. Shield strength just seems like the way to go. Boon bestowed. Our telepaths have managed to establish a temporary conduit between the Shroud and our starships. The crews in our warships can now augment the strength of our shield systems by using their psychic or psionic powers. Next to the Shroud, we have shield hit points plus 50% again. Which is the perfect time to be getting that, as we're finishing up this fight. But we shouldn't lose any more ships. They can beat on our shields, the shields will just regenerate. Alright. Taking bets, placing bets. Are we going to waste this 1,000? Well, we're obviously going to try. But is it a waste? Something speaks to us here, something wonderful. Alright, we can increase unity, increase lifespan with a low probability of success, or exit the Shroud. I don't think we're hurting for unity. I think we're actually... That's influence. Tons of unity. And it's basically for developing our tradition. So I don't think we're too much worried about that. Let's go for the low probability of success of increasing our lifespans. Woohoo! Boon bestowed. The powerful energies of the Shroud flooded the communal psionic link that is shared between all Vish Kinah. Our telepaths have used this power to momentarily slow down the aging process for our most prominent leaders, not just the leaders, adding decades to their natural lives. Alas, there's not enough psionic energy to bestow this effect on the population at large. Boo. Well, still. All leaders gain the increased lifespan trait, gaining plus 40 years of leader lifespan. I don't know what momentarily means. Momentarily slow down the aging process. I guess if you're eternal, 40 years is a moment. But everyone gets to live longer now. Well, you know, if you're important enough. Which is, I guess, how the system works in this game.